This is a quick one, YouTube. Markel's World, AEW Live review. If you have not, sub to the YouTube, Markel's World. Also on TikTok, Markel's World. It's a little hot. So let's talk about it real fast. AEW. It wasn't a bad show today. I do not think that it was a bad show. AEW, a lot of people like to talk about its viewership, but AEW is the kind of show that's all about the wrestling. It's not about a lot of other things. I do know that ratings is something important, but they usually deliver. So let's talk about it. AEW. We did have MJF and Mercedes Monet. They are the top players of AEW. They did appear today. Um, let's see what notes I took. Um, what did I took? We did have MJF. Speaking of the MVP, the one starting off the show, of course, he got interrupted by Daniel Garcia. I don't know what's next with MJF. What you gonna call it with his character? Sometimes I feel like they're trying to do a character change, but it doesn't seem like it. MJF is going to get a title soon. He is clearly going to get a title. They are kind of showcasing that him and Will Ospreay, they're going to cross paths. So we shall see if that actually happens, him and Will Ospreay. But MJF, I do believe he will get a title soon. Um, we had Shingo Tango Titan Himuro Takeshi. Uh, I know I butchered that name. They defeated Blackpool Combat. John Moxley, we all know him. Claudia and Willer Utah by disqualification. Of course, they couldn't win clean. We do know the Blackpool Combat is one of those groups that gets pushed a lot, so they usually do not lose with a clean result. How are you, buddy, doing? By the way, I had a bad day. I'm doing fine. I'm doing this quick AEW review. Probably gonna be only on here for 15 or 20 minutes. But what happened with the interview? Do you want to share? Where was this interview at? We do have Jay White and Ray Phoenix. Good match. Jay White, the obvious winner. Jay White, he is talented. I will say that wasn't he from New Japan originally? But Jay White is somebody that people need to watch out for. Ray Phoenix did have a good showing, but it was not enough. It was not enough for Ray to get the win. It got delayed. I'm sorry to hear that. Did they call you last minute? When was it supposed to be? Then we have Christian Cage. He did get some camera time, I noticed. I think he was in 2 segments, but Christian Cage, Mother Wayne, and Killswitch and Nick Wayne come out to confront the trio's champions. Um, this shall be good. This shall be good. Christian Cage, I do like this character that he has on AEW. Like, he does wrestle sometimes, but he's also somebody that is trying to take over and bring the next generation. We did see that with Jungle Boy, that he was trying to bring the next generation. And then we have Luchagor, what's his name? He turned heel and he's trying to show the next generation. So Christian Cage, I do like what he's doing with this heel persona. He is someone that is a heel, but also trying to put over the new generation, I guess the next generation you want to call it. So we shall see with the trios, those championship belts. I do know a lot of people do not like those titles because they feel like 3 people holding the title. These triple tag team matches are a lot. I am indifferent. I think it stands out, but we shall see what happens with those titles. Speaking of tag teams, we have Matt and Nick Jackson, the VPs. They're backstage. They say they are saying that the wild card is someone from the elite. So they're trying to be mysterious. I do like Matt and Nick. They are one of the best tag teams to me. I do like the Usos first, and then Matt and Nick. I do like brotherly or siblings that are tag teams, just like I did like the Bellas at one point. You know, they were my favorite women's tag team. So I do like when they do have that chemistry. What they're doing with this role, they are switching it up a little bit with the roles over the years. When they came back with the blood on their shirt and things like that, when they came back, I didn't like that gimmick per se. Now with the evil VPs and still badass wrestlers, I do like this. I do like this version of them. Again, I didn't like the one where they were bleeding and had the blood stains on them. Didn't like that at all. Um, Tony Storm. Oh, let me, before I go there, I'm skipping over. We did have the Acclaim. They did have a promo. This is the first time in a while that I actually sat down and watched AEW, so I'm starting to recognize more. I have Sling TV, so I do record. So sometimes I watch it over the weekend or the next day, but I actually sat down this time. Max Caster, don't know what I think about the mustache. Kind of makes him look a little different. Don't know if I like it or not. Billy Gunn. He is right. He is known. He does know people. So he is a legend. Glad that he's still on AEW television. Nice promo that they did. Kylie O'Reilly, Mark, and Orange Cassidy, they are backstage. Kind of another promo. Orange Cassidy didn't really do a lot of talking to the end. It was more Mark Briscoe and Kyle O'Reilly doing the talking. I do like Kyle. I am a fan of cruise rates. My favorite wrestler of all time is the Hurricane. So that should just show you I like cruise weights. Leo Rush is also someone talented as well. I do like him. I did like Enzo. I like Super Crazy. So I like cruiserweight. So Kyle O'Reilly and Mark, they were basically taking turns with the promo. Mark Briscoe, I don't know. It's strange. One minute he looks badass, and then one minute he looks cute. I don't know. He has a baby face now. Looking at him, he does have a baby face, Mark Briscoe. So sometimes when he's like making these threats or loud, it's kind of like, oh, you kind of have this baby face, so you kind of look like a little kid. But I do like Mark Briscoe and his promos. It's a little bit different than regular people that do the promos. It's more like street promos, like he's just talking from his heart. Kyle O'Reilly, he does okay with the promos, but I do think Mark is the one that stand out with the three of them. Orange Cassidy, I mean, his little what he had to say at the end, it wasn't really that much that he added to the promo. So no shade. I'm just keeping it real. He really didn't have that much camera time. We have Tony Storm, Mariah May, Mina Shirakawa. I know I'm saying it wrong. No disrespect to you, boo. I do apologize. Then we have them defeating Soraya, Anna Jay. Anna Jay is someone that is on TV every week. I mean, more power to you, boo. But every time I watch the show, I always see Anna Jay. So it's to the point you have to know who she is, because if you watch AEW, some kind of AEW programmer, Anna Jay is there. Still waiting for Tay and Sammy Guevara to come back. No shade to Anna Jay. Do like her. And we had Harley Cameron. They got defeated. So Raya, don't know about this run in AEW, boo. Did like you in WWE, gonna be real with you guys. Don't know what she's really doing in AEW. She is part of this trio with the stable at this point. It looks like Harley is not really a member yet, but boo, I mean, I am happy that she is wrestling. I'm not sure if she would go back to WWE if they would allow her to wrestle. Again, they have different protocols and different doctors, so they may not clear her. Maybe that's one reason she left. I mean, I'm happy with AEW. She has a lot of freedom. It does look like she's having fun in the ring, so if this is what she wants to do, good for her. And I don't know if, if she would really have a push in WWE if she would go back, but I'm lying because they did make a whole movie about her. So if she did come back to WWE, I would hope they would push someone that they made a whole movie about. But because the casual fans who don't even watch wrestling already know her from that movie from years ago. Saraya, and she would have her own redemption story about her wrestling again and facing people. But I don't know. Her losing, I know she did get a win recently, Saraya, so it's not like she's getting buried. But Mariah May is the one that they're really pushing. I do feel like she's gonna be the one that dethrones Tony Storm. It's something that is long term storytelling. So I do think Mariah May is going to be the one that dethrones her. Do not be surprised. Zach Zabri Jr., Kyle O'Reilly again. Kyle did tap out. I was very shocked that he tapped out. That was too much for him. Don't know if it was an armbar. Um, I wasn't wearing my glasses, so I just know that it seemed like he passed out, but I think he did tap out. Um, him. Let me make sure this is the right one. He did tap out. I was getting the main event confused if I was thinking about the main event, but no, it was Kyle that tapped out. So I was correct. I am now thinking about the main event because the main event is when Will Ospreay did his finisher. They had to do it almost twice. They did have to do it twice. So Kyle tapping out, he had nothing to be ashamed of. He did have a great showing. Kyle O'Reilly, I did like what he did. I did like what he did. It was a good showing, but maybe next time he'll get a win. Maybe next time he will get a win. Still, he has nothing to lose after this match. Both looked good. I was a little fan of Zach. I'm not gonna lie. We have Swerve Strickland, Will Ospreay versus Gates of Agony, Bishop Khan, and Toliana. I am a fan of Bishop Khan. I did think he was the MVP of the day. For Bishop, for him to get this opportunity to be in the main event with two champions, two top champions of the company, that is showing what the company thinks of you. If they feel like you guys can, you and the partner, of course, you guys can hang with the champions. So good that they have this main event spot. Was a good match. I mean, the kick out at the end, everyone automatically assumed that was gonna be it, but there was a kick out. Will Ospreay looked a little bit desperate at the end to get that win, so it did make both of them look like good competitors that they can keep up with the champions. Swerve attacking Will after he grabs or touches titles, that's not surprising. You don't touch the championship belt, so it doesn't really make Swerve a heel per se, because if you were in your right mind, why would you grab the belt? Right? Why would you grab the belt? Why would you grab it? So I don't think that he should have grabbed the belt. But Swerve, I do hope he keeps his titles. Keep his title. I do like Swerve. I am happy for him. I don't think he would have gotten this. Well, why are we talking about? I don't think he didn't get this in WWE where he was pushed. It is hot. Lord have mercy. My skin does not like the hot. It peels. Anyways, Swerve, Will Ospreay, both good competitors. Don't know who would win. Will Ospreay, he's talented. I prefer Will a little bit. I'm tired. Will Ospreay is talented, but I would prefer Swerve a little bit more because I'm more familiar with him. I'm not closed-minded to Will Ospreay. I am a fan of his. I actually downloaded him, or I'm going to re-download him because the call that I downloaded on 2K24 don't really like. But I am a fan of Will Ospreay. So Swerve is the champion. Don't know how long he's going to keep the title, to be honest. A lot of people are already estimating, already writing him off. I don't think he's going to lose the title this fast. I mean, it has been a couple months, but I do hope Swerve gets a lengthy title reign where it is memorable. Don't know if they would put the title on him again. They have so many other people like Sammy Guevara who hasn't had that world championship that they could put it on. But I hope Swerve is enjoying this title reign. I am a fan. I am very proud. Yeah, and as an African American, I'm proud as well. So, first AEW African American champion, I think, world champion. Congrats to him again. He's come a long way since Hit Row. He has come a long way. We have AJ Francis, who is in TNA Impact. I was at TNA Impact a couple weeks ago in Chicago. I did see him in person when I did the VIP. Didn't take a photo with him because I took one with Ash, but he did look like a star. And AJ is getting some reactions in TNA, and he doesn't have to be a major star. And TNA is not a bad place. I've been watching it since Spike. TNA is an alternative. A lot of people always want to be WWE versus TNA, WWE versus AEW. There are some alternatives that people like. AEW is its own thing. It has its own identity. It has its own roster, own matches. So AEW is supposed to be different than WWE. I would hope that WWE is a little different than AEW and the other competitors. WWE, yes, a lot of people consider that the standard. I will too, because everyone grew up with WWE, or that was the most known wrestling company. But it doesn't always have to be the same. Kind of like with TNA. I've been watching that again since Spike 2008. The Beautiful People, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Shark Boy, Suicide. They had so many of their own people. Madison Rain, to see her from being Velvet Sky and Angelina Love's basically slave. She was their slave in storyline, and for her to become a member of the Beautiful People, and then for her to have her own solo career, Killer Queen. So TNA has their own stars. So I'm glad that companies have their own fan base. So again, I'm just trying to alliterate these viewerships. I mean, it does matter for networks to pick up these shows, but I do feel like sometimes it is good to have separate audiences. Again, when I was in TNA recently, I can tell the audience was a little bit different than than the WWE audience. When I go to SummerSlam, when I go to Raw, SmackDown, when they were in town, the arena and the atmosphere was a lot different. The fans, I mean, there were a lot of wrestling fans, but some of them didn't even seem as engaging. They just seemed like they were there just because it was WWE and it's a name value. But in TNA, it was a smaller arena. I'm not gonna lie, it was a little smaller. But to me, I was a little when I was walking in there, I was kind of like a little like, oh, this is not like maybe the best area to have this event. Then I was like, oh, this is not like the biggest place. I thought it was gonna be a huge arena. But then when I went there, like with the TNA background everywhere, like the whole, 2 stories where they were having the event, it was all decorated with TNA. The camera crews looked professional. The promos before the matches were top tier. The athletes like Jordan Grace looked like $1 million in person. I was like, God damn, I can see why they want her in NXT. Well, WWE. The wrestlers, the vibe, the clapping, the audience. I saw a lot of strangers talking to each other in TNA. I was even talking to strangers about wrestling in TNA. So it seemed like every company should have their own audience. So again, I'm just explaining because I'm so tired of this WWE versus TNA versus AEW. MLW has their own thing too, just like Mexican wrestling has their own thing. I got cut off track though. AEW, that was the review. Out of 5 stars, I would say 4. Maybe I'm being a little biased because it's the first time in a while where I actually sat down and was able to watch AEW. I will admit I missed the first 30 minutes, but I did watch it when I caught up on Sling. But when I was caught up and I was able to sit live, I was able to go on X and see what other people were saying about it. So that's what I like about watching it live because you can interact and be part of the conversation. So AEW was good. Wishing AEW the best. This is Markel's World, all things professional wrestling in my life. If you have not subbed to the YouTube, sub, comment. Do you like AEW? Is it bullshit? Do you want it to no longer be a thing? I feel like people that are saying that on X, they don't really mean that. They just always want to complain. How does NXT get more viewerships than AEW? I still want AEW to be a thing, and I'm wishing them the best because they have their own original stars and they're giving more wrestlers a platform. So, good luck to them. I'm going to bed. This was a last minute decision to do this live on AEW, but I want to do more lives. So, thank you, YouTube. Maybe I'll start doing it on TikTok as well, once a week. But I'll see you guys on the next live. Peace.